Hello, Cricuters, and welcome to Cricketing with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. You guys, I'm excited once again. Not because I used something from the mystery box, but if you've been with me for any length of time, you know I just celebrated my 1 year YouTube anniversary. Well, since I've been on YouTube for 1 year, hopefully you also know that my Cricut Explore Air 2 is now out of warranty. And since it's out of warranty, I took a risk and I decided to try engraving with the Cricut Explore Air 2. And I am so excited to share this process with you. I cannot even explain it. I cannot contain it. This is what I was able to engrave tonight with my Cricut Explore Air 2. Let me show you just how cute it looks in this light base. Maybe I'll share that at the end of the video. I'll share that at the end. Well, this is what the finished product looks like. I'll plug it up for you and show you how it looks in the light base, because this light base changes colors and it makes it look just so fantastic. This is the newest addition to my craft room. If you find this tutorial helpful at the end of this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. All right, so without further ado, let's look at the materials you'll need in order to accomplish this look, and move over to Cricut Design Space so I can show you how I was able to prepare Cricut Design Space, and then we will get to the cutting and the engraving and all of the fun stuff. All right, let's get started. The materials that I'll use for this project include my Cricut Explore Air 2. I'll use this Choma Precision tip. I purchased this from Amazon. I will leave a link below. There's also a tip that is a little more broad. I chose this precision tip and I'm glad that I did. It's my first time ever using this. I'm using masking tape. I'm using these 2-inch acrylic heart blanks that I purchased from Amazon. They came in a package of 4 or 5. I'm using a Nakapa purple strong grip mat, and I'm using these light bases that came in a package of 4. I purchased these from Amazon also. They are color changing light bases, so when you put the acrylic blank in, it changes color on a rotating basis. Okay, and that is about it. The design that I'm putting on the acrylic heart, I purchased from Design Bundles. I'll leave a link to that. All of these materials are linked below the video. Okay, let's move over to Cricut Design Space. I am in Cricut Design Space and I'm connected to my Cricut Explore Air 2. The first thing you'll need to do before you can start this process is download the engraving fill pattern. I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to download it again. I will make sure that you have the link to access the engraving fill. It looks like this. It's just called an engraving fill pattern, and I'm going to add it to my canvas. I will make sure to leave a link to this engraving fill down below in the description box. Now that I have it on my canvas, the next thing that I'll do is upload the file that I'm planning to use for my design. I'm going to upload a very familiar image. If you've been with me for any length of time, you've probably seen me wear a shirt with this file on it, and I've worn it in live tutorials. I even wore this image on my anniversary, my 1-year YouTube anniversary video. Okay, I'm going to bring the size of this file down to right at 5.0 because it is very big. And the next thing that I'll do, when I look over here in my layers panel, I can see that this file has several layers and I don't need it to have any layers at all. I only want this to have one layer, so I am going to weld it. Okay, so now that I have it welded, the next thing that I'll do is I will bring it down just a little bit to right at about I think 4.0 is where I want to have it. And I'm also going to unlock it because I actually want it to be 4.0 by 4.0. So almost like a square. Okay, well, actually like a square. And the next thing that I'll do is I'll take the engraving fill. I'm not going to resize it at all. And I'm going to rotate it by 30 degrees. Okay. So I can see that it's rotated right here in the top panel. I'm going to take my file and I'm going to put it on top of the engraving fill. And then I will select both, and I will, now that I have both things selected, right now, let me bring the view down on my screen. I want to bring the view down to right at 50%. And the size of both things that I have selected, the width is 5 and the height is 7. I'm just going to multiply the width by 10 in my head. 5 times 10 is 50, so I'm going to change the width to 50, and I'm just going to hit the enter key. After I do that, I'm going to slice it. Okay, it's going to take a minute because that's a lot of work for the machine to have to think about and do. Now you see that I have these, this error message. It says image too large, reduce the image. Okay, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to bring the view down actually to 25% so I can see more of what's on my screen. This is exactly what I wanted it to do. Now I will bring the size back down to 5 now that I have it sliced. Okay, so now I have all of these images and I can start to look at them and see which one I like, which one, is the cleanest image in my opinion. So this engraving fill, I don't need this anymore. I'm just going to delete this. And I'm going to look at these files to see which one, is the cleanest or the best or the boldest in my opinion. And I can bring them down a little bit. I don't have to have them that big to look at them. There should be one more over here to the right. Okay. And when I look at them, they pretty much all look exactly the same. So right here, this is just a matter of personal preference. And I guess in my opinion, this one looks the best. So I'll just go with this one. I will delete this and I will also delete this. Okay, so now what I'll do is resize this to right at about 4.0 by 4.0 because that is the perfect size to fit in the heart, in the center of the heart template. Okay, so now I'm going to grab a shape. I'll grab a heart. And I'll resize the width of the heart to 6.0 and I'll unlock it and change the height of it to 5.0. And I'll change the heart template from a basic cut to a pen. Now I'm going to bring the view back up on my screen a little bit because I don't need it to be that small. I'm going to bring it up to 75%. All right, and then I will take this and make sure that it fits inside of the heart. Okay. And what it looks like I need to bring this down more. Okay, let me bring it down. Let me bring it down a little bit more. Okay. That actually looks really nice. And so now what I'll do is change this, since I know that I don't really technically have the ability to engrave from the Cricut Explore Air 2. The next best option would be for me to go to foil, and I'm going to go, let me show you what happens with these options. Let me just move this out for 1 second and show you what the different options will look like. So if I go to foil and I go to bold, you see these like lines. It doesn't look like a clean file in my opinion, so I'm not going to choose bold foil. Let's look at what foil medium looks like. Foil medium still has a little bit of these lines that are unnecessary in my opinion. It still doesn't look like a clean file. So I'm next going to go to foil fine, and to me that is perfect. That is exactly what I want my file to look like. So I'm going to bring this back down and, fit it inside the heart. Okay. And let me bring it down a little more. Making sure that it's not touching any of those outside lines. Okay, and that is perfect. And now I will select both and I will attach. So now I'm ready to click Make It. Okay. Now that I'm on the prepare screen, I have two operation types, pen and fine foil. I will prepare my mat and make sure that this is the proper placement. So the first thing I'll do is mirror my design because I plan to do my engraving on the back. And then I will move the heart template down to the 2 and 2 axis and I will click continue. Now I'm going to search for the material. I clicked browse all materials and I selected craft board, and then my Cricut will tell me which tools to load. I am not going to load a pen or a fine foil. You'll see the rest on the camera. Now I will get my acrylic heart prepared to be placed on the mat. One side of these acrylic blanks has a plastic cover and the other side just has a sticker. So I'm going to make sure to place my acrylic blank on the 2 and 2 axis just as I did in the prepare screen. Right here, I'm taping the edges of the acrylic blanks all the way around the heart. I'm just going to stay as close to the edge as possible, but making sure that the acrylic blank is securely taped to the mat. I'm going to open my machine. Notice that 2 of my star wheels are moved to the right and 2 are all the way to the left. I am getting ready to insert the chomas tip. I am using a third-party tool that is not authorized by Cricut. I did put a black rubber band at the top to prevent my tip from going too far to the bottom. Remember, my machine is no longer under warranty, so I'm taking a risk here. I am going to get my mat loaded into the machine. I'm moving it back away from the wall because you need at least 10 inches behind the machine for the mat to go all the way through. I press the flashing arrows. It's going to look for a pin. You see there is no pin inserted in clamp A. I'm going to click the flashing C, and now my machine is going to look for the fine foil. There is no fine foil tip. That is where the chomas is inserted. So the Cricut Explore Air 2 has finished, and I am going to go ahead and remove this from the machine. You can see that the engraving looks nice. I'll get this cleaned up and share my final thoughts about this. I am removing the rest of the tape that I had not taken off, and once I get all of that tape removed, I went over the acrylic blank with my lint roller. I found that this was the best way to remove all of the debris that's left over from the engraving. If you found this tutorial helpful, please consider liking, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.